That is a monopoly rights. It gives you a monopoly. See, the consequence of such monopoly, particularly in the field of life-saving drugs which are patented, particularly in the present environment of COVID, you see what would be the impact of such monopoly, where no one can commercial such life-saving drugs without the prior permission of right holder, that is the patentee. So it gives a very powerful rights to the person who is either the inventor or the applicant, that is the patentee. It's granted for an invention. So please, we have to keep it in mind that the subject matter of patent is invention. So there is no need to confusion for trademark or design or patent or GI. So there are different types of intellectual property rights. The subject matter for patent is invention, and which is a product or a process. So invention can be a product, invention can be a process, and that provides in general a new way of doing something or offer a new technical solution to a existing problem. A patentee shall have exclusive rights over his invention for a period of 20 years, and he or she can exclude other exclusive rights. So they can exclude other from making any use of his patented invention, particularly for commercial purposes. So see the impact of such definition in subsequent slides. WTO. WTO has one agreement, TRIPS, trade-related aspects on intellectual property rights. And the aim of such agreement is to facilitate innovation. These are not the aim of WTO, so please be mind that it's TRIPS agreement aim to facilitate innovation as well as trade in knowledge and creativity. So the focus here is the knowledge and creativity, which the concerned person may be interested to commercialize or monopolize, to stop others not to do such business in their knowledge and creativity without their prior permission, by providing global minimum standards. So it sets, TRIPS agreement sets a global minimum standards for protection and enforcement of IPR. So IPR includes other than copyright, trademark, designs, patents also. So what could the patent owner do? Patentee. Patent owner is the applicant. Once patent granted, it's called patentee. If patentee assign their patent to someone else, such assigner called patentee. So what could such patentee do? They may work over such patented invention by herself or himself. They may sell it or they may license it. So there are various types of license. There is a voluntary license. It's ideal because it's non-conflictual. And there is a compulsory license which is granted by the government. So there is some conflict there. Under voluntary license, know-how, that is the subject matter of main focus over the invention, ideally with patented invention, which need to transfer during technology transfer. Particularly, it relates to technical aspects of the invention, which we need to transfer during technology transfer or patent transfer. So, but what if things don't work that way? So, if such license is not agreed by the concerned person, then what would be the consequence, particularly in the field of life-saving drugs, which are patented? It's the option, use it without authorization. Either you use it with authority or you can use it without authority. This is the only way. So voluntary license, that is the use with authority, and compulsory license, that is use without the authority. The approach of the TRIPS agreement, it's too difficult to agree on all the various existing systems, or that there should be only one or two categories. Public non-commercial use. So government may use such patented invention for public non-commercial use. So this is the limitation of the patented invention. Second one, compulsory license, that is non-voluntary license. Government may assign such patent rights to someone else, that is non-voluntary, and that's why it's compulsory. For public interest, government can do it for public interest. License of right, that is compulsory license for non-working or insufficient working. Again, if the patented invention is not worked, in such cases also government may assign such rights as a compulsory license to interested person. And again, for anti-competitive practice, if they are trying to do unfair business practice by means of such patented invention, government may give compulsory license for such anti-competitive practice also. So dependent license for dependent inventions. Sometimes there may be a bunch of patent. It's not a single patent. There may be a set of patents which are dependent on one another. So better focus on condition of use without the patentee's authorization, because certain situations require different conditions. Certain grounds have to be mentioned, like emergency, pandemic, antitrust, etc. So under Article 31 of TRIPS, which is relates to this subject, compulsory license, in a nutshell, TRIPS doesn't establish an exhaustive list. First of all, Article 31 of TRIPS don't provide us a exhaustive list for the ground to give compulsory license. In fact, compulsory license word is not used under TRIPS. They indicates further TRIPS doesn't limit ground. It doesn't limit the grounds. So member countries are free to extend such provisions as per the need. Further, TRIPS doesn't limit ground for emergency situation in particular. Emergency situation further not defined under the TRIPS. So TRIPS does indicate possible ground for compulsory license. It's a diplomatic document, so it gives you enough scope for possible grounds as per the need of the country. It sets condition for grant of compulsory license. You may get all such hints under Article 31. It gives enough flexibility for domestic implementation and use. Compulsory license under Article 31, further conditions for the grant of a compulsory license based on individual merit, the patented invention, the need of it, unsuccessful efforts to obtain a voluntary license on reasonable commercial terms and conditions within a reasonable period of time. See the language. It's wonderful. Unsuccessful efforts to obtain a voluntary license. That means the person interested to get such license need to try at their level to get voluntary license. But if such deal is not successful on reasonable commercial term, what is reasonable again not defined, and within a reasonable period of time, again it's not defined, but under the rules it may be framed like 3 months, 6 months, 3 year, something, except in case of national emergency. So such things further can be have exceptions like national emergency or other circumstance of extreme emergency or public non-commercial use, that is government use. Government can use patented invention under such exceptions. A scope and duration to be limited to the purpose for which it was authorized. So government decide the scope and duration for such patented invention. Once the need fulfilled, such commercial compulsory license can be developed. It's not for 20 years. Such license is not for 20 years. So it's non-exclusive. Although patent is exclusive, such rights compulsory license is non-exclusive. Such rights may be granted to multiple persons as per the demand of the patented invention. Further, it's non-assignable. Like other rights which you may assign to someone else, you can't assign compulsory license further. It's not an assignment. So except with that part of the enterprise or goodwill, predominantly for the supply of domestic market. It's compulsory license given for the concerned market only. There are separate rule if you wish to export such patented invention to those countries where there is such need. To be liable to termination if and when the certain circumstance cease to exist and are unlikely to recur. Obviously, it's given for certain purpose. Once the purpose is solved, such compulsory license is no more. So it's liable to terminate once the circumstance cease. Adequate remuneration to the right owner. Because this is not the voluntary license, there is no scope to get royalties or benefit sharing in the profit. So government itself set the royalties like 2.5% or 3% or 3.5%. Generally, the range of such profit is 2.5 to 4%. So that is, you may say, adequate remuneration to the right owner. Such royalties given by the commercial entities which are using such patented invention under compulsory license to the patentee. Further, judicial review of the decision relating to the grant and remuneration. So there is a scope of judicial review of such decision giving the compulsory license. We talk much compulsory license, but the meaning, this comes now. What's the meaning of compulsory license? The literal meaning of its use of the patented invention may be authorized by third party, either by the competent court or by the patent office. In India, it's given by patent office, depending on the law of the country. Uh, in some countries, court may also give such compulsory license to the interested person without the consent of the patent owner, because this is non-voluntary license. So it's without the consent of the patent owner, that is the patentee, through a regime called compulsory license. That's the meaning of the compulsory license. So compulsory license have been imposed on asserted ground of public health and safety. Any patented invention. So far, we have only example in the field of pharmaceutical uh, goods, but ideally or theoretically, in practically, compulsory license may be applied to any patented invention. Now, the definition of compulsory license. This is for patent when the authorities license company or individual other than patent owner to use the rights of the patent, like to make, use, sell, or import a product under patent, that is a patented product or a product made by a patented process without the permission of the patent owner, allowed under the WTO TRIPS agreement provided certain procedure and conditions are fulfilled. As per the WTO, this is the definition of compulsory license. Now see, in many countries, sometimes they are protest against the patented invention, particularly in the field of life-saving drugs. See, stop killing people in the name of patent. Say no to patent. So we as a law graduates understand the concept and the idea behind the patenting. This is a balancing system. This is in interest of both public and innovator. Government is the third party. So try to understand the concept and the beauty of compulsory license provision under our Patent Act. There is a concern regarding fair access to medicine and vaccine. It's everyone is agreed on such concern. There should be a fair access to medicine and vaccine, no matter what the patent laws say. So there must be an intervention mechanism. Reasonable requirement. What is the reasonable requirement is nowhere defined. But there must be reasonable requirement of the people so that government must intervene, and compulsory license has now become the hope, particularly for financially challenged patients which unable to afford and all have right to life. So government balance the right of the patentee with its obligation to ensure proper and reasonable working of patent. So patent is not given for not using the patented invention. Patent is given for working of the patented invention so that there is a continuous supply of patented invention to the users, public, market. Otherwise, what's the benefit of such patenting system? It gives assurance to the patentee that no one can use it commercially without your permission, so that they can get compensation of such efforts, investment. So this is a balancing system. So see, uh, on 11th March 2020, WHO declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. Since the virus first emerged at the end of 2019, pharma companies have been ramping up efforts to develop new medicine and vaccine to address the pandemic. See, they made so much efforts, investment to come out with such solution. COVID vaccine. Concerns regarding fair access to medicine and vaccine. It doesn't mean if people are unable to afford such expensive vaccines, government can't do anything. Even government can use such patented invention for public interest. Government can compensate such patenting. And this is another option, compulsory license. So that any commercial entity may request from the government to issue them compulsory license so that they can fulfill the requirement of public in the public interest. So this is a limitation. Compulsory license is a limitation to patent rights. There are certain situations where the exclusive rights of a patentee can be used without his or her authority. Compulsory license provides a specific mechanism to bypass a patent owner legal monopoly, a way to introduce low-cost generic medicine to the market. So it provides we people low-cost generic medicine because it becomes a part of public use. So many generic companies may be interested to manufacture and sell it at lower cost. In case of a pandemic, state intervention through compulsory license have been regarded as necessary and essential. Under the Paris Convention and TRIPS agreement, there is some talk on compulsory license. Under TRIPS, there is a concern article, Article 31. A number of conditions and circumstances must be respected before granting a compulsory license to a third party. To prevent the abuse which might result from exclusive rights conferred by a patent. Many times, uh, power may corrupts the people sometimes. So such powerful rights, patent rights, monopoly rights, the patentee, the right holder, try to abuse such rights to get more monopolization in order to commercialize their patented invention. Overall attempt to strike a balance between promoting access to existing drugs and promoting research and development into new drugs. The term compulsory license doesn't appear in the TRIPS agreement. Instead, the phrase other use without authorization of the right holder. So this is the expression used in TRIPS agreement, other use without authorization of the right holder. They nowhere mention this term compulsory license. Compulsory licensing is only part of since Other use include use by the government for their own purpose. Either a person interested may ask from the government to issue compulsory license, or government can use such patented invention by giving such rights to third party. This regime may also be applied in case of non-use of patented invention within a prescribed period, generally 4 years from the filing date of application for patent or 3 years from the issue of patent. Generally, patent issuing time is 3 to 5 years. So it counts from date of application, and within 4 years, many times the applicant hardly gets patent right within 4 years. So they don't have patents, so there is no talk about issuing the rights, no one having the rights. Still, government have the information, the application, pending patent. You may say pending patent. Government can use in the case of emergency. So if suppose patentee gets the patent right within 3 years and up to 4 years, if they don't make it commercial, and public may have huge need of such patented invention. In such case, compulsory license may be requested. That is the after expiry of 4 years from the date of application for patent. This is the declaration by WTO, Declaration on the TRIPS Agreement and Public Health. This is particularly in the subject relates to public health. We recognize the gravity of public health problem affecting many developing and least developed countries, especially those resulting from HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other epidemics. So COVID can be considered under other epidemics. We stress the need for the WTO agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights to be a part of the wider national and international action to address these problems. Third, we recognize that intellectual property protection is important for the development of new medicine. We also recognize the concerns about its effect on prices. And fourth one, we agree, that is WTO agree, that the TRIPS agreement should not prevent members from taking measures to protect public health. So every country has such flexibility taking measures to protect their citizens' health. Accordingly, while reiterating our commitment to the TRIPS agreement, WTO affirmed that the agreement can and should be interpreted and implemented in a manner supportive of WTO member rights to protect public health, and in particular to promote access to medicine for everyone. In this connection, WTO reaffirmed the right of WTO member to use to the full the provision in the TRIPS agreement which provide flexibilities for this purpose. So we need flexibility, and WTO gives flexibility to all member countries. Accordingly, and in the light of paragraph 4 above, while maintaining our WTO commitment in the TRIPS agreement, WTO recognized that these flexibilities include, see the flexibilities, what they include, in applying the customary rule of interpretation of public international law. Each provision of the TRIPS agreement shall be read in the light of the object and purpose of the agreement as expressed, in particular, in its objective and principle. Each member has the right to grant compulsory license. So WTO don't talk on the compulsory license as such, but they gives flexibility to the member countries so that each member country have right to grant compulsory license and the freedom to such countries to determine what would be the ground to give compulsory license to person interested. Each member has the right to determine what constitutes a national emergency. So it's country to country. They can define in their own context what is the national emergency or the other circumstance of extreme urgency I think COVID is both national emergency and extreme emergency. It being understood that public health crises, including those relating to HIV or AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other epidemics, can represent a national emergency or other circumstance of extreme emergency. The effect of the provision in TRIPS agreement that are relevant to the exhaustion of intellectual property right is to leave each member free to establish its own regime for such exhaustion without challenge, subject to most favored nation and national treatment provision of Article 3 and 4. And this is the last page of such declaration. WTO recognized that WTO member with insufficient or no manufacturing capacity, maybe South Africa or other least developed countries, they may not have manufacturing capacity in the pharmaceutical sector, could face difficulties in making effective use of compulsory license under the TRIPS agreement. So WTO instruct the Council for TRIPS to find an expeditious solution to this problem and to report the General Council. We have reaffirmed the commitment of developed countries member to provide incentive to their enterprise and institution. That's why in India generally 2.5 to 4% royalties given by such commercial entities to the patentee, so that they can promote and encourage such technology transfer to least developed countries. WTO also agreed that the least developed country member will not be obliged with respect to pharmaceutical product to implement or apply Section 5 or 7 of Part 2 of the TRIPS agreement or to enforce right provided for under this section until 2016. So that is the time frame then. Without prejudice to the right of least developed countries member to seek other extension of the transition period as provided for in Article 66.1 of the TRIPS agreement. So WTO instruct the Council for TRIPS to take necessary action to give effect to this article. So patent waiver, if you put this word on Google, patent waiver, you may get enough link regarding COVID and compulsory license. So whether it's right and fair or whether it's discriminatory in nature, so it may be unconstitutional because patentee did a lot of work, efforts, investment, and such patent waiver, all the interest lose by such investor companies who are working on such life-saving drugs. So in one of the news, US Representative Catherine Tai at the WTO announced US support for a waiver on intellectual property for COVID vaccine on 5th May 2021. So in India, now if we talk about India, we have enough safeguard to regulate such issues. First, general principle applicable to working of patented invention under under Section 83 of Patent Act 1970. So you may get a list of general principle which we need to implement, and patentee need to respect such general principle. Again, reasonable requirement of the public, that is mentions under Section 84(1) of Indian Patent Act 1970, but it is not defined as such anywhere. Further, the working information, such patent invention need to be worked out in the territory of India under Section 146, and such information need to be submitted every year in every calendar year to Patent Office, otherwise there is a penalty. And this is a safeguards by means of such submission of working information of patented invention. Patent Office aware about the working of such patented invention, whether it's working or not, and if it is not working and there is a need of such patented invention, then government can issue license to someone else. Further, such patent can be revoked on such ground that patented invention is not worked by the patentee. Next safeguard is the patentability criteria itself. So we know the criteria is novelty, inventiveness, and utility. If we see applicant is try to evergreen their existing invention by doing not a substantial change but incremental changes, then under the patentable criteria, particularly inventive step, such invention is not considered inventive. And once the invention is not considered inventive, it's not patentable. So there is no problem. We have enough case studies over all such safeguards. So further, a strong opposition mechanism. So we have two-tier opposition mechanism: pre-grant opposition and post-grant opposition. Under pre-grant opposition, anyone can oppose such patent application. See, patent application, not the patent. It's the patent application. So anyone means anyone can oppose such patent application, and there are certain grounds which are enlisted in section 25 of the Patent Act. And even patent grant, a person interested may file opposition, that is post grant opposition, within 1 year of such patent grant. So misuse can be regulated by the public itself by means of such opposition mechanism. Under chapter 18th of the Patent Act, the title Working of Patent, Compulsory License and Revocation, we have certain sections which deals in compulsory license there. And now automatic compulsory license for generic. So it's government use. Government issue the compulsory license to generic companies to manufacture and provide such patented invention to the public. And last, the parallel import. So see, these are general principle applicable to working of patented invention. The patent are granted to encourage. Patents are not granted to monopolize unfairly by such commercial entities, but these are granted to encourage inventions and to secure that inventions are worked in India on a commercial scale and to the fullest extent that is reasonably practicable without undue delay. So if such elements are missing in the patented invention, a person interested may request for revocation of such patent. What's the purpose granting such patent? So these are the purpose granting the patent. If the patentee is not respecting such principles, there may be a revocation of such patent on such ground. Further, that they are not granted merely to enable patentee to enjoy a monopoly for the importation of the patented article. That the protection and enforcement of patent rights contribute to the promotion of technological innovation and to the transfer and dissemination of technology to the mutual advantage of producer and user of technological knowledge, and in a manner conducive to a social and economic welfare and to a balance of rights and obligation. So this is all about the rights and obligation, balancing the rights and obligation. That patents granted don't impede protection of public health and nutrition and should act as instrument. You can find such things under section 83. These are well expressive. So I skip these slides. See the reasonable requirement of the public. Although it is not defined in the Act, patentee refused to grant a license on reasonable term when we may say it once a trade or industry is prejudiced by such refusal. Demand for the patented article has not been met to an adequate extent. What is the demand? Not the supply. And due to patentee refusal to grant such license to other interested person. So it's inadequate supply of patented article. A market for exportation of the patented article manufactured in India is not being supplied or developed. There could be a scope of export and it is not developed by the patentee. The establishment or development of commercial activities in India is prejudice. The patentee impose a condition on the patented invention. Such condition uh, may be unfair conditions. Non-working of patented invention in the territory of India, we discussed. Working of the patented invention in India on a commercial scale is prevented by the importation from abroad. So this falls under reasonable requirement of the public to get compulsory license issued by the government on behalf of such patentee. So see the compliance working information. Every patentee need to submit Form 27 every calendar year within 3 months of the end of each year with the information like whether the invention has been worked or not. If not, what the reason of such not working? If worked, what is the quantum and value of such patented product? If manufactured in India, whether imported from other country, license and sub-license granted year-wise, whether the public requirement has been met at a reasonable price or either partially, adequately or the fullest extent. Failure to supply such information creates a presumption of non-working, and such non-working may contribute in granting a compulsory license. So it is also a punishable offense and invites a fine which may extend up to 10 lakh if such patentee not submitting information rightly, then it may attract penalties and the cost is up to 10 lakh. Knowingly furnishing false information. If such false information is knowingly submitted, then it's punishable with imprisonment up to 6 months, a fine or both. So far, there is no any such case in India. This is one of the case Novartis dispute. This is a very frequently used case study everywhere if we talk about inventiveness as a criteria for patent. So section 3D exclude mere discovery of new form of a known substance which doesn't result in the enhancement of non-efficacy. Efficacy again nowhere defined, and in that particular case it is raised whether salt is 30% is more bioavailable. So bioavailability is the concern there to define the efficacy for that particular invention. And finally, it's not agreed that the patented invention is efficacious enough, and on the ground of evergreening, it is rejected. Application have been rejected. So see grounds for compulsory license under TRIPS. There are 3 grounds: national emergency, other circumstance of extreme emergency, and anti-competitive practice. So grounds that have been proposed or asserted to support the imposition of a compulsory license in India have included under the TRIPS. India mentions the grounds for such issuing compulsory license. One, the circumstance of national emergency or extreme emergency, vital public health need. A strong societal interest has arisen in access to the invention. Abuse of economic power by the patentee. In circumstance where multiple patents held by a different owner cover a particular technology. For example, combination therapies such as triple antiretroviral drugs may be subject to more than one patent. So this is the concerned chapter under Patent Act, chapter 18th, working of patent, compulsory license and revocation. and it mentions section 82 to section 94, section 95 and 98 to 98 omitted. So we discuss section 83 general principle and section 84, that is compulsory license, 85 for revocation of patent by controller on the ground of non-working, section 86 power of controller to adjourn application for compulsory license, and such are other relevant sections in the subject. So section 84 gives 3 grounds for compulsory license as per section 3, not as per Patent Act. So Patent Act mentions multiple sections on compulsory license, and particularly section 84 gives you 3 grounds. First ground is reasonable requirement of the public with respect to patented invention have not been satisfied. So the person interested need to submit data or information that the reasonable requirement of the public with respect to patented invention have not been satisfied, and he tried for voluntary license and patentee refused to issue such license to him. That's why he requests from the government to issue compulsory license. So it could be a one ground. Other ground, patented invention is not available to the public at a reasonably affordable price. So price is also an issue. It's not affordable. And third ground is patented invention is not worked in the territory of India. There is no manufacturing. So why it gives in India if there is no manufacturing? So it can be the third ground. So these 3 grounds discussed in section 83. Again, if we talk about further grounds, section 92(1). Here, no one need to ask from the government for such license. Central government itself issue the license, and on behalf of central government, its Controller General of Patent, they so moto issue the license pursuant to a notification issued by central government if there is a circumstance. So the circumstance in such case, so moto issued by Controller General of Patent, either it's a national emergency or extreme emergency, or in case of public non-commercial use. Further, we extend the ground under section 92A, which is the extension of Doha Declaration. In order to give effect to the paragraph 6 of Doha Declaration, which recognized WTO member with insufficient or no manufacturing capacity in the pharma sector could face difficulty in making effective use of compulsory license under the TRIPS agreement. So section 92 is a compulsory license for manufacturing and exportation of patented pharma product into any country that doesn't have sufficient manufacturing capability to address the public need, particularly public health issues. So exportation is allowed mainly to those countries where a compulsory license have been granted. So from India, we can export to only those countries where the government there issued compulsory license to someone. So an Indian can export such patented manufactured things to that right holder to whom compulsory license have been issued by their government. So these are the sections under Patent Act which discuss the grounds on which compulsory license can be issued, and these are the time limit. So under section 84, within 3 years from the grant of patent, it can be issued, while under section 92, any time after the grant, and under 92A, at any time after grant of the patent. So more or less grounds are similar, and applicant, in case of section 84, any interested person can apply for it, and under section 92, government issue the license. So used by the government under section 100, compulsory license can be issued by the government on a patented drug for use by the government. It's for the use by the government. So government can arrange the patented invention, patented medicine, and supply to the government hospitals, in private hospitals to circulate. See, in present time, we have COVID vaccines arrangement by both government and non-government organizations, private hospitals also serving. So Bombay High Court in the case of Garwadewal Ropes Limited versus AI Chopra and Konkan Railway Corp allowed third-party agency to use a patented invention on behalf of the government. So on behalf of the government, third-party commercial entities can use it, and it's called used by the government. Although they are used by the commercial entities, because it's not possible that government all times do such manufacturing. So government needs public participation. Under Section 102 of the Indian Patent Act, government can obtain a pending or already granted patent for public use. Even a pending patent can be utilized by the government. In return to the government must pay the patentee royalties as mutually agreed upon the parties. So procedure for granting a compulsory license. This is under Form 17. We need to use this Form 17 along with the prescribed fee. It is required that Form 17 state nature of the applicant interest. So under Form 17, applicant need to mention the interest along with fact and particulars on which application is based. And under Section 87 of the Indian Patent Act, upon filing the application for grant of compulsory license, the controller at the Indian Patent Office shall analyze the prima facie case made by the applicant against the patentee. That patentee refused such voluntary license to him, and there is a public need, and this is the Form 17. So IPO, Indian Patent Office, analyze the prima facie case made by the applicant against the patentee, and these are the consideration by the controller: nature of the invention, applicant ability to work the invention, whether they have manufacturing capacity or not. Suppose government gives the license to some person interested who is applying for compulsory license, but they don't have manufacturing capacity. Whether the applicant made any efforts or reasonably obtain a license from the patentee. What will be the mindset of the applicant, whether he tried himself earlier with the patentee to get such license or not. If such efforts have not been successful within a reasonable time period, that is within 3 years from the grant, a notice will be issued to the applicant by the controller that if controller is unsatisfied with the request and will provide a statement rejecting such compulsory license application. Applicant may request a hearing with the controller within a month from the date of such notice of rejection. At the conclusion of the hearing, controller will decide the matter. If the matter is decided in favor of the applicant, necessary terms and conditions shall be decided for granting of such compulsory license. The royalties to be paid to the patentee will be decided by the controller on behalf of government in the public interest, which is in the range of generally 2.5 to 4%. The patentee investment in the invention, workability of the patentee's invention by the applicant, the selling price of the patented article, and in terms of license will be considered. So for the opposition, we can use Form 14. I'm escaping this slide. So this is not for compulsory license, but for the opposition. So if the public purpose is sought, there can be a termination of such compulsory license, and under Form 21, the patentee can request from the government that they can terminate because there is no such conditions now. Lastly, appeal or review. There is enough scope to review and appeal such decisions. I'm again escaping the slides. Compulsory license cases in India. There are so far only one successful case in India for compulsory license, but there is so much cry over compulsory license in media. The first compulsory license which was given, that is the successful case study of compulsory license. It's Nexavar. Nexavar is the brand name of the life-saving drug, and the chemical name is sorafenib. The applicant that is interested for such compulsory license is NATCO. This is a Hyderabad-based generic pharma company and a Bayer, US firm. Bayer got patent in India. The medicine is helpful to treat advanced stage of kidney and liver cancer. And actually, this drug is not life-saving drug, but life-extending, and has to be taken by the patient whole life. And see the cost, it's around 3 lakh rupees per month. So in India, please see how many people can afford such drug. And there is a monopoly. No one else can manufacture and sell such drug without the prior permission of right holder, that is the Bayer. And Bayer refused to issue license to other interested person. NATCO offered to sell. If they have the right to manufacture it, they can deliver such medicine within 9,000 rupees per month. See the difference. There is a huge difference. Fortunately, Bayer admitted in the court that only 2% of kidney and liver cancer patients were able to access this drug. And further, the drug was imported and not manufactured in India. So all the three grounds under sections 84 applicable here. So it's prima facie, not only prima facie, it's totally justified to issue compulsory license. And finally, compulsory license issued to NATCO Pharma that provides the medicine within, as they offered earlier, within 9,000 rupees per month cost. So see the difference. So all the three grounds applied: lack of accessibility by the public, lack of reasonable affordability, and failure of local working because it's imported. So Bayer had supplied very limited quantities to the Indian market. Bayer argued that Cipla already adequately supplying market, so the compulsory license is not needed in India. Bayer introduced limited evidence of program designed to provide accessible, affordable product. So price far in excess of those affordable to the public, including with government assistance, had sought to supply requirement only through importation and had not demonstrated sufficient obstacle to local production. Bayer alleged Cipla production infringe patent cannot rely on activity it claimed are illegal as defense. Affirmed by Intellectual Property Appellate Board on March 2013. Now we don't have IPAB. Instead, High Court take care of such issues now. So in India, see the judicial system. Controller General first in the public requirement, as they found public requirement failed, they issue compulsory license on March 2012. Then applicant patentee reached to IPAB, Intellectual Property Appellate Board, making the appeal. But IPAB version is it's only because of public interest. IPAB are not interfering in this appeal on such grounds. Then patentee reached to High Court. High Court said there is no reason to interfere with the finding of the authorities under the Act. This is the prima facie, and both all the three grounds of section 83, 84 applicable here. So there is no reason to interfere. Lastly, patentee reached Supreme Court, and Supreme Court upheld the decision of controller and upheld the ground for which compulsory license was issued. So there is a human angle. Each of the decision by the Indian courts referred to the above pay particular attention to the interest of India's large poor population and need for access to medicine. A number of the cases are argued on the right to health. A specific reference to human rights instrument is not a prerequisite to a human rights decision. So the remark patent protection is granted not as absolute protection. Patent protection is not an absolute protection, nor it can denied altogether, as directly affects innovation, funding, and unfettered use of this provision may result in global pharma company being hesitate to introduce new medicine in other countries. Hence, the companies have to fix the cost of their patented module according to the economic status of the country if they want to protect their product. So this is a suggestion to all such patentee which wish to monopolize and rejecting the request by interested person. So the grant of compulsory license, whether violative of Article 14 of the Constitution, which prohibits the state from denying any person equality before the law or the equal protection of law within the territory of India. So see, mere fact that a particular word or phrase is not defined doesn't render an act unconstitutional, as it can be judicially interpreted, case-to-case basis. If the legislative policy is clear, a discretionary power that is to be exercised with regard to a particular circumstance of the case is not discriminatory. So it depends case to case. It would be competent for the authority that exercise discretion to lay down guideline in conformity with legislation to ensure fairness and exclude arbitrariness. So power of the controller, it's not absolute, it's not unguided. So terms and conditions of the compulsory license granted under section 84, 91 and 92 are to be determined by the controller in accordance with the provision section 90 of the Patent Act. So clause 4 to 9 of section 90 describe the relevant circumstance and factor for which various conditions and limitations that may be imposed by the controller. These include conditions that compulsory license is non-exclusive, non-assignable for the remaining term of the patent unless a shorter term is desired in public interest, and predominantly for supply to the Indian market, but export could be permitted if needed to develop or supply the export market. Second case in the compulsory license, this is BDR Pharma versus BMS. There is a dasatinib and brand name Asparacel. This is an anti-cancer drug. Same year, 2013, controller rejected BDR Pharma application for a compulsory license and controller ruled in favor of patentee. So, matter is opposed here. Applicant has not made efforts to obtain a license from the patentee. At least applicant need to approach the patentee to get voluntary license, which he didn't, as it is evident by the applicant conduct by not taking any action on the query of patentee. Even patentee sought some information from the applicant, which he denied. The controller found that BDR had made no credible attempt to procure a license from the patent holder, and the applicant had not acquired the ability to work. Further interesting, see, applicant found they don't have ability to work the invention to public advantage, and therefore such application for compulsory license denied to BDR. And third case in India, that is Lee Pharma versus Astrazeneca. Here the drug sexagliptin is for the treatment of type 2 diabetes mellitus. In year 2015, Lee Pharma applied for compulsory license. Controller General rejected this application prima facie. The case is not made out, or any of the three grounds under section 84 of the Indian Patent Act, it's not fulfilled. So applicant failed to demonstrate reasonable requirement of the public is not met. Further, patented invention was not available to the public at a reasonable affordable price, because there are other companies which providing similar drugs in the market which are further affordable and accessible by the public. So there is no ground. Patented invention had not been worked in the territory of India. So Lee Pharma also failed to show the extent quantitative requirement needed by India, and therefore it could not be concluded whether manufacturing of the drug in India was necessary or not. So prima facie, the conditions are not met in such application and it's rejected. Rose C. They patented a chemical erlotinib and the brand name Tarkeva in India and in other countries also, which is issued in the treatment of lungs cancer. This is a high cost drug and each tablet costing around 5,000 rupees. This means that a lung cancer patient could pay close to 1.5 lakh every month for such treatment. Subsequently, application for compulsory license have been filed in India by Natco Pharma of Hyderabad. The application is for the export of 30,000 tablets to Nepal and Natco has offered Roche a 5% royalty. Compulsory license. So media make so much cry and they submitted that there is a shift in government policy on grant of compulsory license. Government is not interested to issue a compulsory license as per the need of the citizen. So recently it was in the air that Indian government offering private assurance to the US trade representative that it will not invoke compulsory license anymore, say for public non-commercial use. So all these are false statement. The news started to be covered in legal and mainstream media with indication that there is a shift in government policy on such matters. So news private assurance to US trade representatives. Press statement published by NDTV website where both BDR Pharma and Lee Pharma blamed lack of government support. So the applicant who denied such compulsory license, they cried much. So they blamed government that there is a lack of government support for cheap generics and pressure from big pharma for not pursuing compulsory license anymore in India. So government need to clarify, and on behalf of government, Department of Policy and Promotion, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, there have been recent media report that government of India has privately assured that it will not issue any more compulsory license. It is hereby clarified that such reports are factually incorrect. In this regard, it may be noted that India has a well-established TRIPS compliant legislative, administrative and judicial framework to safeguard IPR. Under the Doha Declaration on the TRIPS Agreement, Public Health, each member has the right to grant compulsory license and the freedom to determine the grounds upon which such licenses are granted. So government made his stand very clear here. Even as the government of India is conscious of the need of innovation and protect individual rights, it retains the sovereign right to utilize the flexibilities provided under the TRIPS. That there has been only one case of compulsory license in India, and that too after a well thought out and laid down process, which was subsequently upheld right up to the highest court of the land, that is Supreme Court. So Finance Minister that time Arun Jaitley said hold compulsory license to the drug firms under emergency conditions. So some use without authorization under Article 31. So I think if you have any questions, students or participant can interact.
Students, if you feel like having any question, you can send in the chat box or you can text me later on since you have a class. Now, sir, they have next class. They had a next class at 1 o'clock. So 1 to 2, they had a class. So students, you have any question, you may ask right now, or you can send me your questions. I will directly ask
So
and answer from the sir, and then I will revert back to you. So let me, because they do not have,
Okay.
there is a lot.
Okay, they need some time to study
No, sir, actually, they do not have this unmuting
for
rights.
them.
Sir, they do not have unmute right with them. So they can't unmute
Mhm.
themselves.
Okay, 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 got it.
Sir, so, sir, I'll be asking them the questions. I'll be inviting the questions and then I'll be sending the questions. Sir, will you be sharing your PowerPoint with the students? Will you be sharing this presentation with the students?
Sure, 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 sure.
Oh, let's sir, thank you so much because they are texting me that they have a class, next class at 1
Okay,
o'clock.
I understand. I understand.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for this informative session. And there was a lot that I learned from your presentation. Thank you so much. And I hope my students have adequately benefited with your experience and extensive research that you have carried out. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time and to be with us. Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.